Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal Part 169 based on novel. So let's start. Only by going deeper to absorb thunder can I speed things up. If I stay on the edge, even though I'm absorbing 10 times the thunder and the effect looks the same, in reality there is a huge difference. Wang Lin silently pondered as he walked toward the center of the Thunder Lake. This step caused a ripple when it landed on the Thunder Lake. It attracted countless bolts of thunder. Wang Lin's mind was focused and his eyes gave off lightning. His origin soul was like his heart right now. Although it wasn't pounding, it pulsed thunder that filled his body. His body was made of thunder, so thunder filled his body without any resistance as this origin soul released more. The thunder moved through his body and created a series of explosions. This thunder echoed inside his body. Wang Lin moved forward and took another step. A thunderstorm immediately appeared inside the Thunder Lake, attracting large amounts of thunder. The thunderbolts fell and made it look like a real thunder prison that prevented all life from moving forward. There was a powerful might of thunder inside this thunder. Compared to this, the might of thunder inside Wang Lin's origin soul was like comparing a firefly to the bright moon. This place is very strange. The strength of the thunder here is simply too amazing. Wang Lin's feet landed, causing a loud series of explosions that echoed across the Thunder Lake. He didn't stop and continued moving forward 10 steps. Every step he took triggered a loud explosion even more fierce than thunder. It was as if the entire world was trembling. In particular, Wang Lin's speed was very fast, so he took 10 steps almost instantaneously. The thunderous rumbling echoed across space. This shock set off a huge thunder shockwave. At this moment, it looked like the world was covered in lightning, and it was a very shocking scene. Wang Lin couldn't take one more step. His current location was still at the edge of the Thunder Lake, but his origin soul couldn't bear it anymore. It felt like if he took one more step, his origin soul would be injured. My origin soul has devoured half of an ancient thunder dragon and my body is made of thunder. My entire being is almost no different from real thunder, but even so, I have to stop here. This thunder here is simply too powerful. Wang Lin felt reluctance in his heart and began to ponder. Not far away, Shengong frowned and his eyes revealed a hint of disappointment. The reverence in his eyes died down as he looked at Wang Lin and thought, this isn't right. With Senior's cultivation, why did he stop there? Could it be? His eyes lit up. Even the thunder beast beside him was watching closely, and the fear in its eyes dissipated slightly. The silver-horned thunder beast didn't move and continued to cultivate as if it already knew this result. As Wang Lin stood there longer, Shengong, whose disappointment became even stronger, and he let out a sigh. He wanted to see a powerful spell of the person he pledged to, but unfortunately, he saw nothing. This strong contrast caused the powerful reverence he had for Wang Lin to die down a lot. His extinguished Dao heart was also slowly recovering. Although 100 steps is an uncrossable gap for me right now, once my cultivation breaks through to the Nirvana Scrya stage, I will definitely be able to achieve a mere 100 steps. However, as a senior, how could he only be this strong? Shengong, whose expression turned gloomy, and he began to observe carefully. Wang Lin looked at the Thunder Lake before him. At this moment, it was as if he had forgotten everything. Everything around him disappeared, and it was as if the Thunder Lake was the only thing remaining. Just like when he was outside the gate and looking into the gap, into the heaven-defying bead space. Just like back then, he even forgot about his own body and looked only at the endless Thunder Lake. After an unknown amount of time, after forgetting about time, forgetting everything, Wang Lin's body moved. He casually walked forward. This step was very casual, but it seemed to fall just at the right time. A bolt of thunder just happened to appear right under his feet. It looked as if he had stepped on that bolt of thunder. Shengong, whose originally diminishing reverence and gloomy expression, was startled. He seemed to have gained enlightenment but couldn't understand it. The armored thunder beast was also startled. The beast's eyes narrowed as it looked at Wang Lin. Wang Lin had no expression, it remained neutral. His eyes were empty as he took another step. Just like last time, the moment his foot landed, there was a bolt of thunder for him to step on. Shortly after, Wang Lin took another step. From beginning to end, he was extremely casual, as if he wasn't walking toward the Thunder Lake but into his own backyard. With every step he took, there would be a bolt of thunder under his feet. Shengong, whose eyes opened fiercely. His eyes were filled with aghast and he sucked in a breath of cold air. The disappearing reverence showed signs of returning and the disappointment immediately disappeared. As he stared at Wang Lin, the aghast in his eyes became stronger and stronger. In his eyes, one time might be accidental, even twice or three times it could still be considered accidental or lucky. However, a bolt of thunder would appear to support every step Wang Lin took. This was no longer something that words accident and luck could explain. In his eyes, this was something completely impossible. This was thoroughly beyond his imagination. At this moment, in his eyes, Wang Lin had become the master of all the thunder in the world. The strange behavior of the Thunder Lake was clearly welcoming Wang Lin. Welcoming, yes, it's welcoming him. The aghast in Shengong, whose eyes became even stronger and filled his body. At this moment, a sense of excitement raged through his body like a storm. He had waited for 2 years to see spells like this. The armored thunder beast beside him suddenly raised its head. The feeling of awe appeared once more inside this thunder beast. The thunder beast's comprehension for thunder was far above its master's. In its view, the Thunder Lake wasn't welcoming Wang Lin, it was that Wang Lin's every step was landing on a vein of the Thunder Lake. Not far away, the silver-horned thunder beast that never looked over and seemed to not want to even look at Wang Lin suddenly stood up. Its huge eyes were filled with never-before-seen horror as it stared directly at Wang Lin. In Wang Lin's eyes, what he saw was no longer the Thunder Lake but rays of light that would appear and disappear. Every time his foot landed, he would always land on the shining light. He seemed to have gained enlightenment in his heart, as if this was the most correct method. He took step after step and seemed to have forgotten everything. Shengong, whose body trembled and he didn't dare to blink. He didn't want to miss even a moment of what was happening. He couldn't even believe everything that was happening before him. Wang Lin moved faster and faster until he only left an after-imagine, but that bolt of thunder would always appear under his feet every time. In the end, Wang Lin's body gave off a bright flash of thunder and then a violent thunderstorm was set off around him. He was like a solitary boat that was calmly and firmly drifting among the raging waves of thunder. Too terrifying. This is real, a thunder spell. This is real thunder. The reverence in Shengong, whose eyes increased once more and his heart started pounding as if it was going to burst out of his chest. His reverence was several times stronger than it was 2 years ago. His reverence for Wang Lin reached such a new height that it could be considered blind belief. The thunder beast beside him shook violently, and the awe it felt was even more intense. Its feeling for thunder was much more profound than Shengong Hu's. It thought that Wang Lin was the origin of thunder, and the awe from the depths of its soul made it completely surrender. At this moment, if Wang Lin asked it to attack Shengong Hu, it would comply without any hesitation. Wang Lin's silver-horned thunder beast was even more shocked. It felt disbelief as it stared at Wang Lin. Its body trembled from the memories in its inheritance. At this moment, Wang Lin stopped and the strange scene before him disappeared. This state came without a trace and disappeared without a trace. At the moment his body stopped, Wang Lin awakened. His eyes were filled with confusion, and it took him a long time to gradually recover. This caused his understanding of thunder to become more profound. He knew that everything he saw was related to the comprehension he had toward the third step. Although this didn't increase his offensive power, it was far more important than any celestial spell or treasure. It was like an ant that had seen the human world and saw the magnificent cities. After seeing those incredible scenes and returning back to its cave, the ant would notice the similarities between the two worlds. Wang Lin was currently feeling like this. When he woke up, he found himself in the inner part of the Thunder Lake. Although this was still far from the center, the distance could no longer be described in steps. The thunder around here was far more dense than the thunder at the edge. All of the thunder here contained large amounts of origin energy. Wang Lin sat down and absorbed one strand. This strand of thunder entered his body and immediately caused him to tremble as if a powerful force had just shocked him. His entire body felt numb and even his origin soul began to slow down as if it was in water. Shengong Hu withdrew his gaze. His reverence for Wang Lin had reached a peak. He had gained some enlightenment form before, so he was very excited. Just as he was about to sit down and cultivate on this enlightenment, he suddenly frowned. His eyes became cold and he looked at the distant asteroid field. Shortly after, a ray of purple light flew over. There was a wooden sword inside this light, and a person was standing on the wooden sword. "This place sure is lively." A mocking voice slowly arrived. This was a purple, wooden sword that gave off a cold and fierce aura. The sword also gave off a purple glow and left behind a trail of purple. The purple light stopped outside the Thunder Lake. On the sword stood a man about 30 years old. His face was white without any facial hair and he was slightly handsome. However, his phoenix eyes revealed a strange, feminine feel. He was wearing a golden-purple robe that seemed to flow with an invisible wind. His gaze went past Shengong Hu and landed on Wang Lin. What the man saw caused his pupils to shrink an indiscernible amount and all of the pores on his body immediately opened. At the moment this person appeared, Shengong Hu's expression became gloomy. The thunder beast beside him stood and growled, its eyes filled with a hostile gaze. As for the silver-horned thunder beast, it withdrew its gaze from Wang Lin and glanced at the feminine man. Its eyes were filled with disdain as he lied there and began playing with the thunder around it. Those strands of thunder were extremely obedient under its control. They moved around its body like little hands scratching an itch. Not far away on an asteroid, the celestial guard just sat there and didn't even look over. If this person threatened its owner, it would immediately attack even if it had to sacrifice itself. This was due to the imprint left on its soul. However, if there were no threat to its master, then the person before him could slaughter 100,000 people and it wouldn't move an inch. Shengong Hu said, "Zhong Kong Lai." The feminine man carefully withdrew his gaze from Wang Lin because he was afraid of causing a misunderstanding. In his view, although this person's cultivation level was only at the late stage of ascendant, to be able to enter the inner ring of the Thunder Lake was simply too strange. Unless this person was hiding an unimaginably powerful treasure, he must have been hiding his real cultivation level. He also saw the silver-horned thunder beast at the edge of the Thunder Lake and the puppet. His suspicion deepened. He thought, he must have some hidden treasure. It's impossible for him to be concealing his cultivation level. Just why are there two thunder beasts here? Could this person also be a messenger of the Thunder Celestial Temple? After all, being inside the inner circle of the Thunder Lake was a terrifying prospect. Even with his peak corporeal yang cultivation, it was impossible for him to enter the inner circle. "It's the Shengong family's Shengong Hu. I didn't recognize you before. Your cultivation level has dropped a lot." The feminine man focused his mind and looked at Shengong Hu. Shengong Hu coldly snorted in his head, but his expression remained the same. However, his eyes were a bit gloomy as he calmly said, "This place is not for you. Why haven't you left yet?" Although he was injured and his cultivation hadn't recovered, with Wang Lin here, he would still dare to speak like this even if the Lord of the Thunder Celestial Temple personally came. Zhong Konglai frowned and subconsciously looked at Wang Lin. He slowly said, "What big words. Does this place belong to your Shengong family? You won't allow outsiders to come just because you brought a junior here to cultivate." Shengong Hu sneered but didn't explain. He coldly said, "If you don't leave in 3 breaths, then you might as well not leave." He really disliked this talented man from the Zhong family. If it wasn't for the fact that their strengths were very close, the two would have already attacked each other. If this Zhong Konglai remained ungrateful and disturbed his senior's cultivation, he would attack even though his cultivation was damaged. As long as Senior looked at Zhong Konglai with that gaze, it would be enough to cause Zhong Konglai to collapse. After all, this person wasn't a messenger of the Thunder Celestial Temple. Although killing him would be troublesome, as long as Senior was here, it would be a small matter. Zhong Konglia's eyes narrowed and then he immediately retreated. He was a cautious person, and as he retreated, his eyes fell on Wang Lin, who was in the depths of the Thunder Lake. The suspicion in his heart became even stronger. Why does this Shengong Hu speak like this? His injuries can easily be seen through by any discerning eye. Could he be bluffing? If he isn't bluffing, then he must have a reason. Could it be this junior? Zhong Konglai thought about many things at once. 3 breaths have passed. Shengonghu grinned and stood up. Thunder immediately filled his body and gave off popping sounds. He charged out and the thunder beast let out a roar as it followed closely behind. However, the difference was that as it stepped out, it subconsciously looked at Wang Lin. Its eyes were filled with awe and were without a trace of doubt. The thunder beast's gaze caused Zhong Konglia's mind to tremble. Although Shengonghu was a scheming person, the thunder beast was very different. The information revealed by the thunder beast's eyes couldn't be thought about too deeply. The answer that its gaze revealed shook Zhong Konglia's mind. Due to his cautious personality, he immediately backed up without hesitation and shouted, "Shengonghu, I'm a considerate person. If you and I battle here, it will inevitably disturb your junior's cultivation. If you want to battle, let us leave here and battle outside the asteroid field." There was an emphasis on the word junior. Shengonghu's gaze became cold as he stepped outside the Thunder Lake and sneered. Why go through so much trouble? Here will be fine. The more Shengonghu was like this, the more doubt Zhong Konglai felt. He would rather retreat than attack. It was clear that Shengonghu was trying to force him to attack. Thinking about the Thunder Beast's gaze, an absurd idea emerged in Zhong Konglia's mind. His eyes lit up, his hand formed a seal, and a ray of purple thunder appeared in his palm. The purple wood sword under him released powerful sword energy. The 2 forces fused to form a powerful pressure. This powerful pressure contained origin energy. It was only the first spell, but he was already using origin spell. It was clear that Zhong Konglai was extremely cautious of this battle. The battle was an instant away from starting. Shengonghu took a step and his hand pointed at the sky as if he was about to summon divine retribution lightning. The thunder beast beside him roared and gathered countless thunderbolts toward its body. The 2 of them were creating a very shocking scene. However, just at this instant, Wang Lin slowly opened his eyes and calmly said, "Shengonghu, I will not help you in this battle. Let it be your test for pledging under me. If you lose, then I'll return your Dao soul back to you." Wang Lin's expression was neutral, but he was secretly distressed. He didn't stand a chance against Shengonghu nor this Zhong Konglai. Once Shengonghu failed, he would be in a bad situation. He originally wanted to find a quiet place to cultivate, but he seemed unable to achieve this. After this troublesome Zhong Konglai had appeared, Wang Lin quickly thought about this and spoke those words. Shengonghu's body trembled and the battle intent in his eyes reached a limit. He stared at Zhong Kongling but respectfully replied, "Wang Lin, Lord can rest assured, Shengonghu will not be defeated." Shengonghu took a deep breath as he touched his bag of holding and took out a bottle of pills. Zhong Konglia's expression changed greatly. The moment Wang Lin said those words, he saw the hidden reverence inside Shengonghu's eyes. When he saw that kind of demeanor, he thought that his eyes had gone bad. Also, that thunder beast's body trembled when that person spoke. It seemed as if it was terrified. In particular, the person talked about pledging. This information caused Zhong Konglia's mind to shake greatly. If these only made him doubt, then Shengonghu's response shocked Zhong Konglai. It was enough to make every hair in his body stand up. Lord. This word was not something easily spoken in the All-Heaven star system. This was especially true for second-step cultivators like them. Only after pledging themselves to a powerful existence would someone call the other Lord. Zhong Konglai didn't suspect Shengonghu was faking, because none of this was worth it. Shengonghu was extremely arrogant and was the kind of person that would rather die than humiliate himself. Moreover, even if the 2 of them battled, it would be extremely difficult for either to die. At most they'd be seriously injured. Even Zhong Konglai himself wouldn't casually call someone Lord just to avoid a battle that wouldn't even decide his life and death. After combining this with his previous speculations, that absurd idea came into his mind once more. His eyes were filled with terror as if he still couldn't believe it. Could it be? Could it be that this person didn't rely on a magical treasure to enter the inner part of the Thunder Lake but has concealed his cultivation? If it isn't so, how could he make the arrogant Shengonghu pledge and call him Lord? Zhong Konglai sucked in a breath of cold air and quickly retreated once more. His mind quickly changed and he immediately said, "Brother Shengong shouldn't be impulsive." Shengong, whose eyes became cold, and he crushed the pill bottle in his hand. There was only one red pill inside, and he swallowed it. His aura became violent and tyrannical immediately after doing so. Zhong Konglai, battle with me. With a roar, Shengong, whose right hand pointed at the sky. The origin energy inside his body rushed out, and in an instant a dragon-like bolt of thunder descended from the void. This move affected the Thunder Lake. Countless strands of thunder gathered toward Shengong Hu. When Wang Lin saw Shengong Hu's origin spell, his eyes revealed a strange light. This spell was very strong. It involved using one's own origin energy to call out heavenly thunder. This wasn't any weaker than the origin furnace spell. Although it wasn't as grand as the origin furnace spell, it was even more powerful. Zhong Konglai's expression changed and he retreated once more. At the same time, his foot moved and the wooden sword flew up. He pointed at the wooden sword and it shot out. The wooden sword was covered in a purple light and carried with it a violent rumble. Shengong, whose eyes were filled with battle intent. He wanted to display all his strength in this battle because Senior was watching. Shengong, who let out a roar. His hand trembled slightly as he was injured. Although he had slightly recovered and had the help of the Thunder Celestial Temple's pill to suppress the injuries, allowing him to reach his peak for a moment, it still wasn't enough to use this spell. He clenched his teeth and his right hand suddenly fell. The divine tributuation lightning that appeared suddenly descended with unimaginable might. Zhong Konglai's expression turned gloomy. His hand rapidly formed seals and he spat out a mouthful of his body's vitality, which landed on the wooden sword. The wooden sword let out a roar before emitting a powerful sword energy and shooting directly at the divine tributuation lightning. When the two collided, a shocking bang spread across the area. The lightning collapsed and the wooden sword retreated. The remaining origin energy reached a limit and a large amount of asteroids collapsed. Zhong Konglai's body trembled and he retreated a few steps. His expression was pale as he gloomily stared at Shengong Hu. He was angered, and now his eyes were filled with battle intent as well. Shengong Hu also retreated until he backed up into the Thunder Lake. Blood was coming out from the corner of his mouth. He looked at Zhong Konglai and smiled. "I find your feminine face displeasing to the eye. I didn't expect you to actually have some skill." Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He had observed the battle just now very carefully and had gained some enlightenment. He wouldn't be able to withstand a hit from either of these two corporeal yang origin spells. However, he saw some problems. Shengong Hu's origin spell seemed imperfect. The power of that divine retribution lightning should have been stronger. Wang Lin had, after all, seen the world of the third step, and before he had stepped into the inner ring, he had vaguely seen the law of thunder. So it wasn't a surprise for him to see problems in Shengong Hu's spell. This kind of phenomenon sometimes occurred in the mortal world's martial arts world. Someone who knew no martial arts but had read countless secret techniques and manuals would often be able to point out problems when they saw a move as the spectator. Although that person could see through the technique and gave out pointers, that person wasn't able to use it personally. Wang Lin was currently in this state. His eyes lit up and he said, "Shengong Hu, your origin spell contained the power of thunder, but not the soul of thunder. Although your Tao heart fused with it, it isn't enough. Your faith lacks the power of thunder." Shengong Hu was startled. This wasn't the first time he had heard those words. The Lord of the Thunder Celestial Temple and his family elders had also said this. However, hearing it from Wang Lin made him nervous, and he respectfully said, "Please give me guidance, my lord." Not only Shengong Hu, but the distant Zhong Konglai was also startled. He became more and more inclined to that absurd speculation he had. He had the same problem Shengong Hu did. The Zhong family elder had also said this, and it was something they had to comprehend on their own. This was something not even the elders really understood and were still discovering, so how could they teach their juniors if they didn't know what was right or wrong? If they were right, it would be fine, but what if they were wrong? After all, no one knew if their path was right or wrong compared to the true path. This was because one knew the path to the third step. However, Wang Lin was different. He had seen the third step, so he knew the direction of progression. Others were afraid to say anything, because even if they did, they weren't sure if it was correct. However, Wang Lin was different. He knew that what he had said was definitely correct. The current scene was extremely bizarre. Both Shengong Hu and Zhong Konglai were both having a fierce battle filled with monstrous battle intent, but at the next instant, both of them had given up battling. Instead, they were focused on Wang Lin. Their gazes were different. Shengong Hu's was filled with blind reverence, while Zhong Konglia's was filled with doubt. Wang Lin didn't continue to speak. This kind of thing was not something that could be clearly explained. While confused, if one understood, they would understand. Otherwise, they needed an opportunity, or else they would never understand. While pondering, Wang Lin raised his right hand and casually pinched the air. A strand of thunder landed in his palm. In the eyes of Shengong Hu and Zhong Konglai, the power wasn't strong. However, what happened next caused both of them to gasp. Wang Lin's eyes released a strange light as he stared at the strand of thunder and waved his right hand. The strand of thunder disappeared, and what was left was a flickering light. It wasn't able to last very long and collapsed after a moment. Wang Lin closed his eyes to conceal the exhaustion within them. If it wasn't for the fact that the current situation was too dangerous, he wouldn't have bothered to put up this act. As Wang Lin closed his eyes, he slowly said, "Do you understand? Origin. Return to the origin." Shengong Hu's eyes shined brightly and his body trembled from excitement. He gave Wang Lin a deep bow without any hesitation. His reverence for Wang Lin increased almost to the point of worship. He was suddenly enlightened as if a layer of paper was torn through. At this moment, Shengong Hu was enlightened. He suddenly turned toward Zhong Konglai with glowing eyes and said, "Let us fight again." At this moment, Zhong Konglia's scalp was numb and his speculation of Wang Lin had reached a peak. He no longer doubted the absurd idea in his mind. He took a few steps back and then bowed toward Wang Lin and respectfully said, "This junior is Zhong Konglai. I didn't know senior was cultivating here. I offended you earlier, and I hope senior can forgive me. Junior will leave right away." He looked enviously at Shengong Hu. He had already understood why someone as arrogant as Shengong Hu would pledge to another. Zhong Konglia's voice contained a sour tone as he clasped his hands and said, "Congratulations, brother Shengong." Shengong Hu didn't speak and coldly looked at Zhong Konglai. Zhong Konglai didn't mind and laughed. "Brother Shengong, I have already received a summon book from the Thunder Celestial Temple. In the future, both you and I will be messengers of the Thunder Celestial Temple." He once again bowed toward Wang Lin before turning around and leaving. Shengong Hu didn't stop him, but his eyes turned frosty. Wang Lin calmly asked, "What is a summon book?" Shengong Hu quickly turned around and respectfully said, "The summon book is a communication token from the Thunder Celestial Temple. Any candidate for becoming a messenger of the Thunder Celestial Temple will receive a summon book. 3 months before the Thunder Celestial Realm opens, the Thunder Celestial Hall will reorganize their messengers. If there are any messengers missing, the candidates will compete with each other for the position. With Zhong Konglia's cultivation, if there are no accidents, I fear he will win this time." Wang Lin nodded slightly. He no longer spoke and continued to absorb thunder and converting it into origin energy. Shengong Hu's eyes revealed excitement. He had gained some enlightenment earlier, and now he immediately sat down in the Thunder Lake to cultivate. Time slowly passed. In the blink of an eye, 8 years went by. Adding the 2 years from before, 10 years passed by in a flash. The origin energy inside Wang Lin gradually stabilized as he absorbed origin energy using the Thunder Origin spell. His origin soul was now full and couldn't absorb anymore. Wang Lin knew that it was because his cultivation level wasn't high enough. Only after entering the second step could he continue to absorb origin energy. Right now the most important thing was to break through his own cultivation. He stood up and looked at the thunder around him. The 10 years of contact made him understand thunder even better. It was as if he could see the origin of thunder, even though it was a bit blurry. His body moved and Wang Lin left the inner part of the Thunder Lake. He made his way toward the edge. Shengong Hu was sent away by Wang Lin 3 years ago. Although this person revered him, Wang Lin didn't feel comfortable. Before Shengong left, he left a message jade. The silver-horned thunder beast came over. Wang Lin sat on the thunder beast and it turned into a ray of thunder as it flew away from this place. The celestial guard once more returned to Wang Lin's shadow. Due to absorbing thunder in the Thunder Lake for 10 years, the speed of the thunder beast had increased. It rushed out of the asteroid field and disappeared among the stars. Wang Lin already knew the changes the heaven-defying bead had gone through. Not only were the 3 souls inside not affected, they looked even brighter than before. I must go to the Thunder Celestial Realm that is opening in 20 years. However, right now I need to find a hidden place to increase my cultivation level. Also, due to the change in the heaven-defying bead, it no longer needs the power of the 5 elements. So what does it need now? Wang Lin began to ponder on the back of the thunder beast. The heaven-defying bead was split between yin and yang. The two weren't fused, which confused Wang Lin. Sun and moon, yin and yang. As Wang Lin pondered, the thunder beast flew through the star-filled space. After an unknown amount of time, Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding and a jade appeared in his hand. This was something Shengong had left. It was a detailed star map of the southern domain of the All-Heaven star system. There were detailed introductions inside, so Wang Lin wouldn't get lost as long as he had this. The place before him was considered the wilderness of the southern domain. Most of the planets here were deserted without anything special about them. Powerful cultivators seldomly came here. However, there were mortals living on these planets along with some low-rank cultivation families. In 20 years of time, I need to prepare for the trip to the Thunder Celestial Realm. Also, some of my spells need some adjustments. Many of my spells don't conform with the 3rd step I saw. If I continue using them, the path I walk will be wrong. In particular, the resentful spirits needed for my underworld river need to be quickly collected. Also, it is about time I have my own cultivation planet in the All-Heaven star system. As Wang Lin pondered, his eyes lit up. Before him was a wasted planet. It was filled with vitality, so it meant that there were a lot of mortals living there. The reason he chose this place was because it was very similar to planet Suzaku. He was somewhat homesick. Wang Lin jumped off the thunder beast. After he did so, it let out a pitiful cry and helplessly turned into the war chariot before entering Wang Lin's bag. Just as he was about to charge toward the planet, Wang Lin's expression suddenly changed. Inside his bag, a powerful fluctuation came from inside the celestial sword. This fluctuation contained a powerful aura and ancient sword intent. Damn sword intent, your grandpa Shu had finally conquered you. Henceforth, I'm the true sword spirit. I'm very badass. Very badass. This video will end here.